So as a woman, when you have done the in and outer work and you are fully tapped into your divine feminine, you have now lapped men who are in their wounded masculine, who have not yet built the solid masculine frame, the drive, the ambition, the purpose like you have. And not even that, they could still be at the starting line when you've done 3 laps, you've won the race, and you've upgraded to the next level. The more you are investing time, effort, money in your healing and your self-development journey, the more you unlock your infinite life force energy. And it is in your best interest to date men who have equally done the same work, and better yet, they are ahead of you. A man can't lead you if he can't lead himself. If you are playing big, you are making big moves, you've harnessed your life force energy, you're constantly stretching and expanding your elastic band of what's your norm, of what you can attract, what you can hold, be, your identity, you need to date up. A woman's natural role as the feminine is to amplify. And a woman can only amplify what is given to her. And if you are dating down, you can't fully step into your greatest potential and fully be protected, provided, and have safety when he is wounded, when he hasn't healed yet, right? He has massive fear. He has an unhealthy ego. He hasn't done the work to marry his purpose, drive, his self-discipline together to be a service to the world and to you. And a woman's life force energy will shrink to what a man can bring to the table. So I want to tell you guys a personal story when I was dating this guy who was making $30,000 a year, right? And I was around 23, 24 years old, and he was 38 years old at the time, right? And he was making $30,000 a year. He was like a maintenance guy working at a hotel, but he was an incredible artist. Like, he could paint the most mystical, beautiful paintings of nature, the moon, forest, just anything, right? And I said to him, why aren't you selling these? Why aren't you doing this as a career as opposed to being a maintenance guy making $30,000 a year? And he didn't believe that he was good enough. He didn't have the drive, the discipline, right? The vision, the self-belief to, one, create content, reels, a time-lapse YouTube video of him creating his art, and number 2, feel worthy to sell his paintings for thousands of dollars. He was very talented. He just didn't believe that he was. And number 3, create financial freedom for him and his son. And yes, he had a son, and I dated him. I was interested in him at 23, 24 years old. I don't know what I was doing, but I had the vision, right? I could literally go boom, 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 tell this man exactly how he could be a multi-6, 7-figure artist in just a few seconds. I had the vision, I had the ideas, I knew how to do it, the steps, the self-belief, and the discipline to execute it, right? But he never did it. And he also had another business idea of a spiritual app. For over 10 years, he told me he'd be sitting on that idea. And he didn't even make one step towards bringing this to life. I knew him only for a few weeks, and I literally did the entire branding for his business idea, right? He paid me, of course, but I was basically like the cornerstone, the drive, and the motivation to pull him up for him to actually get started, right? It wasn't the other way around, right? He was 38 freaking years old and had a kid. I was freaking 23, 24. And at the time, I was earning 3 times more than he was. And this is what I mean by I was tapped into my power. I was tapped into my feminine energy, my life force energy. I had the discipline. I had the vision to execute an idea, but he did not. And instead of feeling inspired, energized, more motivated than I usually am before when I was single, because ladies, if you are not better in every area of your life with a man, he's not the right man. I was pulling him up a hill, right? Instead of him flying me in a luxury helicopter to the top. And another story was when I was dating a primary school teacher. I personally thought he was a great teacher. He's so good with kids. He had so much humor and so much play in him. And of course, I think teachers are important, super valuable in our society with education, right? Raising our future generation, right? If they're a good teacher and they are passionate about it, right? But at that time, I was light years ahead of him. I was like a bright, wide-eyed, curious, passionate, ambitious, excited 24-year-old, right? I believed I could do anything, be anything. Wealth, luxury, travel, financial freedom. I knew I was born for this. I knew it was my birthright. And at the time, I had two businesses, my brand design business and my mindset and business coaching business. And I was selling 4-5-figure offers and packages. And he was working the 9 to 5 as a primary school teacher. And he had other jobs that he was doing on the side. And I remember I sent him a gift, and I think it was High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. And I also sent him a diary, a journal for him to set goals. I was full on mothering him, and like the other guy, I was trying to drag him up the hill with me. I remember asking him, like, why are you always so busy? Why do you work so much? Why are you always doing so much? Like, why are you exhausting and killing yourself? Like, I remember, like, he wasn't earning that much for the time that he was putting in, and I didn't understand why he hadn't cracked the code like I did. I wanted to like teach him for some reason. And at the time, I could earn like $8,000 from just one client in just a few seconds. And I saw him just busting his ass trying to work 2 to 3 jobs 6 days a week. And I just didn't get it. But I didn't leave. I had low self-esteem at the time. And I was heavily in my masculine, mothering these men. And I remember telling him, you should get up at 5 a.m. in the morning like me, go work out, have a morning routine, get motivated, recite your goals. And it's so crazy looking back at the things that I said to these men, right? Literally not realizing that I was so masculine. I kept on mothering all the men that I was dating, but I had so much self-belief. I had so much like vision for myself. I was so into self-development. I would literally do anything I was scared of because I knew that was how I was going to have a life that most people could only dream of. While these men were scared to bet on themselves, to take the leap, right, to do the inner and outer work, I was leading them and they weren't leading me. And not only that, over time, I could start feeling myself play small. And I started thinking, oh, maybe traveling the world, living in luxury hotels isn't all it's cracked out to be. But I can live a humble suburban life because their job isn't location dependent. They're not making the income to support this lifestyle. They can't even support themselves. How are they going to support me? How are they going to join me? And this is what our subconscious starts doing when you start surrounding yourself around men who aren't at your level and you don't have the self-worth to realize that you deserve more. And a few years later, after doing more in and out of work on myself, I went on a date with this guy who sold expensive luxury watches, diamonds, right? He did a few other things. He was also an entrepreneur. He picked me up in a Mercedes. He slams down hundreds of dollars for our dinner like it was nothing. We sat in his $3+ million luxury apartment and we looked through a catalog of submarines he wanted to buy. Submarines. I didn't know you can even buy submarines. But he introduced me to that world where buying submarines is just like you buying clothes, buying jewelry. And not only that, he surprised me with pastries on my birthday. He bought me green juice. He bought furniture for me for my new apartment, right? He drove me around in his car to run errands. I could turn off my brain with this man and I always felt taken care of. He was always 10 steps ahead of me. He knew the best luxury high-end restaurants. He had a lot of friends who were high up in the Melbourne society, right? He knew restaurant business owners. This guy expanded me. He showed me the type of luxury in life that was available to me and that he could provide effortlessly. And this guy led me to start my Dream Girl Academy. I started teaching about luxury dating. I started seeing that, wow, I can own a multi-million-dollar apartment too, right? I can also own a luxury car. So do you see the difference between dating down and dating up? So the other night I was watching the movie called The Life List, which is on Netflix, which came out last week, just a couple of days ago. And if you watch it, they share 5 things to know if he is the one. So I'll pop it right here. The third one is, does he help you become the best version of yourself? If this is a no, if he does not inspire you, energize you, instill more motivation, clarity, vision in you, right? Push you to be the wealthiest, healthiest, most magnetic and lively woman that you can be, he just isn't it. And just like my personal story of dating that 30K guy, that primary school teacher, right? Both of them, they contracted me. I was playing smaller and smaller and smaller the longer I was with them, instead of focusing on my dreams and feeling inspired by them to 10x my life, right? I was focused on pulling them up. I could never have the life I truly wanted with that 30K maintenance guy or that teacher guy, because we were on completely different levels when it came to self-leadership, accountability, having vision, the discipline, and the self-belief to execute on my goals, my dreams, and my desires. So ladies, look at who you are today, how much you have done, achieved, healed, and the woman that you have become. This is you single. Imagine who you could grow into and achieve with a partner who is on the same frequency of growth, of expansion, and wealth. Imagine your energy, your glow, how much more fulfilled, exciting, and expanded your life would be. And if you already have, or you are working towards a financially free life, location independent, uncapped income, right? You have, or you are creating more of a luxurious life for yourself, buying all the conveniences, flying first class, 5-star hotels, right? You need to only date men who are already there, who has the same vision, the same values, and the same lifestyle as you. And not only that, but has done the in and outer work as a healthy, driven, ambitious, masculine man who can lead you, who can take you on a luxury helicopter to the top of the mountain. You're not dragging his ass up the mountain. When you heal yourself, you are naturally turned off by men who are not fully in their power. You immediately can feel their energy, and if they contract you in your mindset, in your body, in your goals, they'll activate your masculine, then be your masculine frame and your containment, and help you thrive in your divine feminine. That was why when I was at the top of my masculine energy, I attracted the brokest feminine men. Only when I worked to heal my feminine energy and poured all the love and energy back into myself, I then only attracted the multi-6, 7-figure masculine men. And that is it for today's video, ladies. If you resonate with having to pull men up to your level and you want to learn how to attract successful, wealthy provider men, my Dream Girl Academy will teach you that. I hope you ladies are enjoying the Polarity series. I'll link the past videos down below for you to watch. The next video in this series is how does feminine energy play out in texting, and what does this look like? So make sure you like and subscribe and stay tuned for that. I wish you ladies the most incredible day, and to remind you that you are extraordinary, that you can be, do, and attract anything that you desire, and to trust that your dream man is going to come in when you are your most happiest, most aligned, and lit up version of yourself. So I'll see you ladies in my next video.